EOC warm-up material. This is going to be review for your EOC that is coming up, guys, in like 3 weeks. Y'all, it's getting here, creeping quickly. So please understand, it's like 3 weeks from Tuesday. It's going to be here before you know it. The first one is starting off talking about purchasing something from Amazon. It says Ripley is going to purchase a necklace for his fiance from Amazon.com. The total purchase will include the cost of the necklace, a handling fee of 5%, and a sales tax of 7.5%. If X represents the cost of the necklace, then the total purchase can be represented by this equation. They gave you all those words. You hear all that I said, and then they give you the equation. Okay, guys, if they give you the equation, you've got the information that you need. It says, what is the max amount that Ripley can afford for the necklace to cost before tax and handling if he is working with a budget of $360? So, let me ask you this question. If you want to buy a car, and you go to buy a car, and you say, I have $5,000, can you go buy a $5,000 car? No. Why? Because what do you have to pay in addition to buying a car that is going to make it go over $5,000? Tax. That's one thing. What else do you have to pay for when you buy a car? Insurance. You have to pay for the tag. You have to title it if it's new. There's all kinds of other expenses. When you buy a house, you know you pay more in interest than you do in principal when you buy a house. You actually pay more, and when you do a 30-year loan, you're actually paying more interest than you do actual principal. So if you borrow $100,000, you might have to pay off like $250,000. That's how interest works when you're dealing with a long-term loan. It can be a lot. So when they say that he wants to know how much he can afford for the item to be, that's after these other expenses. So we're going to put down that total cost, that total purchase price over here in the P. So it's going to be $360 in there where the P is. That's the total it can be with this equation. X plus 0.05x plus 0.075x. You can put the zeros in front of the decimals if you want to. You don't have to. In order to solve this, you're going to combine like terms. What number is really in front of this x that's not written there? 1. So we're adding the 1, the 0.05, and the 0.075. Add those together on your calculator. Tell us what you get when you combine those three like terms. 125? 1.125? X? Okay, now that it's down to a multiplication problem, we're going to undo multiplication by dividing both sides by 1.125. 1.125. That cancels that out. We're going to get X on the other side. What is the total amount that they can afford? 320? Okay, 320. So it says, what is the I'll get this word to come out, maximum amount Ripley can afford for the necklace to be before tax and handling fees with this budget? Alright, so the max would be a total of $320. Guys, you need to know that before you go purchase something. If you have a certain amount of money, you can't just buy something worth that. You've got to take care of these other things like taxes and fees and all these other things. It's kind of like when you buy, have y'all ever bought a ticket to a concert? It's actually more, I mean, the other stuff, it adds up so bad, the fees and the online thing and the whatever they tax, whatever they want to charge you, it's a huge amount of like upcharge from what the cost of the ticket is. Okay, let's go to the next one. So you have a goal, you're trying to save a minimum. Guys, can it be less than, if your minimum is $1,000, can it be less than $1,000?
No.
No. Okay, let's say it like this. The minimum you can be to ride this ride is 40 inches. Can you be less than 40 inches and ride that ride? No. So the minimum they want the savings to be is 1,000. What else could it be? Above that. Okay, so think about that when we're talking about what we're going to next. It says if you already saved $455, write and solve an inequality, not equation, inequality, to find the amount of money you still need to save in order to reach your goal. Well, guys, first of all, we know up front that we are already have saved $455, right? We're going to save some additional amount to that. We don't know what it's going to be, so we're going to call it something. I'm not putting an S though, y'all. I don't do S's as my variable unless they absolutely say it has to be. So I'm just going to use X. You can do S for savings if you want to, but I use X. And then that's got to be compared to $1,000. Now, based on what we said before, okay, what would the inequality symbol be that goes in here? Greater than what? Greater than or equal to. Let's see if that works. So when I have this amount of savings must be greater than or equal to $1,000. That works, absolutely. It could be 1,000, the or equal to part, or it could be anything more than that. Does anybody have a question just on setup? Now, just so we're clear, it said to write it, so this is going to be one of your answers. So that definitely needs to be boxed in so you know that is one of the answers because it asks you to write the inequality. Then it asks you to solve it, so we're going to minus 455 from both sides. Did y'all see that? 455 from both sides, minus 455. It's going to make it x is greater than or equal to, y'all tell me, 545. There we go. So it says we need to know the amount of money you still need to save in order to reach your goal. So you would say something like this, but you'd have the dollar signs in it, so it'd be the minimum you could do would be $545. Now, could you save more than that? Yes. But the minimum, that's what they want to know, the minimum to reach that goal would be $545. Okay, anything on the first two that you need to ask about before we go down here and do these last two? Okay, here we go, guys. NHS at Leon High School, that's called Pyarian here at Leon High School, if you didn't know, is fundraising to support this year's sickle cell anemia marathon. They have set a goal to raise at least, this is a key word, at least does not mean equal to, not just straight equal to, it's going to be an inequality. At least means it's going to be 7,200 or what? Or more. They want it to be 7,200 or more. Okay? They're accepting donation in increments of $50 and $100. If X represents the number of $50 donations and Y represents, so you don't get to pick your variables, Y represents the number of $100 donations, write an inequality that represents the chapter's goal. Does it say anything about solving it? No, it's just writing the inequality. That's all you have to do. So, guys, what's the first amount of money that you can do for a donation? 50. Times how many of them are we doing for 50? X, thank you. Plus, in addition to that, there are $100 donations. And how many of those $100 donations will there be? Y. And then that amount is going to be compared to $7,200. Alright, what's it going to be? What's what? What symbol? Greater than or equal to. Perfect. And that's the actual answer to the question.
Is this actually happening though?
That one, not that. It's particular. Last night though, the Leon Foundation that sponsors all kinds of things that happen at Leon, they pay for lots of different things here at Leon. Like teacher supply and get grants from them, all kind of things. They've done like the sound system in one of our in the new gym was non-existent. They put one in there. They do all kinds of things for Leon High School. Last night the SGA kids were there and they sold tickets to a raffle for a cruise that had been donated, and they sold 100 tickets only at $100 each and raised $10,000 in one night. It was awesome. They worked hard. They did good. So lots and lots. They do raise a lot of money, so it was pretty awesome. And that's just going straight back into Leon High School, which is really cool. Okay, guys, from here, solve and graph the following inequality on this number line. So two things: solve, gotta solve, get an answer, and then graph. That's the second thing, so it's gonna have two answers. Okay, here we go. We gotta get rid of the fraction, so I'm gonna multiply both sides by 3 to get rid of that. It's gonna make it negative 2x is less than or equal to, guys, on your calculator, multiply 16, fraction button 6 times 3. It actually turns out, I think, to be a whole number.
You said 16.
Fraction button 6 times 3. It's 8. 8. Perfect. Then we are going to divide both sides by -2. Here's the problem. When you divide by a negative on an inequality, what do you have to do? Flip the sign. We have to change it from less than or equal to greater than or equal to, and it's going to be greater than or equal to what? Perfect. That's the first answer to the problem. There are two answers. Two answers. The next thing is the graph of this. You're going to draw a number line. Alright, you're going to put your numbers on here. Last time I think they just asked you to describe it. Now you're actually drawing it. So this is going to be a -4 in the middle. Guys, the numbers have to get smaller on the left-hand side. So what's smaller than -4? -5. What's bigger? What's bigger than -4? -3. Okay, open or closed dots. Closed. Because though or equal to, it is a closed dot. Nice. And then it's going to be shaded to the right because it points to the right. So we shade in this side and we shade the what's that word? Arrow in solidly. Can you tell we're getting close to a long weekend? My words are just escaping me. Okay, guys. Anybody see anything they need to ask about? Okay, put that